Hey guys, and welcome back to a new episode with Sunoco 1. This week we are on hiatus from Supernatural, so I'm going to do something a little bit different. If you made it all the way through my last video, you'll recall that I promised to go over books this week. And also possibly my office. So that is actually what we are fixing to do. First, we have the very obvious Sailor Moon, which is probably one of my earliest fandoms. We have, look at this, BAM! Starfire. Teen Titans, more Starfire, and then more Starfire, because Starfire is my favorite, bar none. Over here we have Supernatural fan art. This is Boy King Sam. This is fan art that was done for me by the Fantasmica Opens for a Sam and Lucifer scene from a fic, this fic, Defining All Expectation. This is the movie poster for it. Consulting Cannibals, The God Squad versus the Darkness, which I saw this and was like, I need this, I need it in my life now. And then we have fan art for one of my other fics that someone did. The fic is called Ordained, and it's Dean, Cass, and Charlie as superheroes. Then we have, again, Starfire. Big, huge, massive shock. Look how pretty she is. Look at the detail. I love her hair. Like, look at the way the color and the pieces just, oh god, it's so flowy and so pretty, and I love her so much. But then we've got Star Ocean figurines, because like I said, uber nerd. Batman, because I literally grew up wanting to be the new Batgirl. I wanted to be a part of the Bat family. Then we've got more Supernatural right here. We got the Squad. And then like Inverse Castiel, which is awesome. Like, I love this print. Do you see this? Then we have this, which is a collage I made because I had the stuff and didn't know what to do with it, and I had an empty spot on my wall at one point years ago. So I literally just made this using a bunch of prints, and it filled my empty spot, which was the point. And I loved it, and so I've kept it. And then we've also got the Squad, and Gadriel's hand needs to be glued back on. They gave him two of the exact same hand. They gave him two right hands. So I took the hand off of Dick Roman and am going to glue it on him. I just don't have the proper glue for it yet. Charlie, Dean, Cass, Sam, Dick Roman, Abaddon, Crowley, and Juliet. And then of course we've got Demon Dean and Bloody Sam down here. Fake television TV show of When Becky Met Charlie. Supernatural spinoff. 2 fangirls, 1 apartment. What could go wrong? And this is a print somebody bought for me and I love it. Captain America. And the Winter Soldier, because Bucky is a thing that needs to be appreciated more often. And I love these two. They are like the power couple of Marvel. I love them so much. And then we have the Squad. Voila! My reading chair. We've got Gadriel. I didn't choose the fandom life. The fandom life grabbed my hand and whispered run. And Charlie effin' Bradbury. Yes. Oh, plus a Supernatural blanket. It's awesome. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go through the red list first. First book is The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. Very, very good book. What it is literally, it's a sci-fi, dystopian society type deal. Survival story where aliens, for reasons unknown to us, have targeted our planet. And the feel of it is very isolated, very creepy, very desolate. It's told starting from the story of Cassie, and as she's your narrator. And she takes you through the first 4 waves, and, you know, humans are basically expecting the 5th wave. They have no idea what it's going to be. And it's not till the end of the book that they realize, oh my god, okay, as, you know, what the 5th wave is. And it's very, very good. And you're forced to watch as basically humans are almost stripped of their humanity in this new world. And it's where fear and panic and loss have changed people so much. I really enjoyed it. Next book is called Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. This book is actually the creation of fan interest. She wrote another book called Fangirl. And in Fangirl, the main character, Kath, is writing a fan fiction for a fictional book series that sort of parallels with and sort of is a nod to Harry Potter. Except it has more books, and she has like she has excerpts from the fictional book series in Fangirl, and then she has excerpts from Kath's fan fiction as well. And people were so intrigued by this fictional book series and excerpts from Kath's fan fiction that Rainbow was just like, oh my gosh, guys, I think y'all are more interested in this fictional story than y'all are in Fangirl. Like, there's a lot of interest in this. They really struck a chord with y'all somehow. So I very, very much recommend Carry On. I like finished it and almost wanted to pick it up and start reading it all over again. My next one, actually, and some people are probably going to groan and roll their eyes, and I've said this in my other videos, I don't care what you think. Literally, don't care. I don't live my life for you. And I don't care if you agree with me, disagree with me, or think I need to jump off a cliff and die. I enjoyed it. That's all I need to worry about. So, next book. Twilight. I very much liked this book. For me, it's like reading it is almost like sinking into a hot bath. While at the same time, it makes me want to lace up my sneakers and go for a jog through the woods. So I love Twilight. I know a lot of people are like, oh my god, it's so problematic. Dude, so is Shakespeare. So is all of Greek mythology. So are all of the popular stories. Like, what world do you live in? Have you read any books? Any of the classics at all? They're all problematic. So yeah, I don't care what you say about it's problematic. Now granted, there are a lot of problems with the young adult genre nowadays where that is a popular trend of the fact, like Hush Hush is a perfect example of where, like, as if toxic, dangerous boys are ones to be drawn to. No. Hush Hush, she literally thinks he's out to kill her, but she's like, you know what? I have nothing to go on. No reason to believe you're a good guy, but I'm gonna, you know what, just trust you anyway. And you literally think he's a killer. That's not good. It's not good. In which case, you know, if you are a writer, by all means, work to revolutionize that and change that pattern. But don't get pissy at people because of the fact that they like something that you view problematic or you don't like or you thought was stupid and trivial. I liked it. That's all that matters. So yes, I really did enjoy Twilight. Like I said, for me, it's simultaneously like sinking into a hot bath and makes me want to lace up my sneakers and go for a run, through the woods. And I think that's part of, I like, it always gives me the feel of being like out in the woods and it's just peaceful and quiet and calming. And, that's its reaction for me. Other people, different responses. Now, did I like all the other books as much as I liked the first one? No. Because then there was some really problematic behavior, like the fact that Jacob will not take no for an answer. And that is something women, I think, on a daily basis battle, is the fact that when we say something, our word is not respected. That we can't say no without feeling the need to apologize or explain or being made feel guilty. You know, and that to me, I take great issue with that. And the fact that he has basically anybody who does not take, you know, he doesn't take Bella at her no, shows he has no respect for her. Like, yeah, you say that, but I know better than you. No, son, let me explain you a thing. So, and, you know, I got very angry. Like, literally, I wanted to throw the other books across the room and into a wall several times. But like I said, I enjoyed Twilight very, very, very much. The movie's god-awful. I'm so deeply, deeply regretful they exist. Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. This is my favorite book, probably bar none. I have read this book so many times. I've actually had to buy multiple copies of this book because I will loan it to people and never get it back. First time I read it, I actually had some difficulty getting into his writing style at first. It was kind of, I slogged through the first couple of chapters and then just fell in love with the whole book. If you've ever seen Labyrinth, it very much reminds me of that. Especially the Marquis reminds me of Jareth. Except, you know, I think he has dreadlocks. He finds this girl, she tumbles out in front of him onto the sidewalk. And his fiance is just like wanting to step over her and keep going. And he's like, she's hurt. And she's like, ignore her. And he's like, but she's hurt. And, you know, in that one moment of kindness, he ends up changing his whole world. Because he picks her up and basically goes to take her to get help. And at her request, doesn't take her to a hospital. I actually have one of his books, The Ocean at the End of the Lane. It's actually autographed. So that's cool. If I could get Neverwhere autographed, I would literally sell my left arm. Next, we have the entire Jurassic Park series by Michael Crichton. I love dinosaurs. And the Jurassic Park books are very, very good. Anybody who has read the books will notice that all 4 movies end up actually still using scenes. And I'm like, why didn't you just actually make a movie based on the book? Rather than going so far off scripts like you did on some areas and then having to, okay, we're going to use this scene from the first book in the second movie, you know, because it was such an epic scene, we can't neglect it, but we're going to put it in a completely different movie where it didn't happen in that movie. Like the atrium scene in Jurassic Park 3, the atrium scene. That's in the first book. The dinosaurs that camouflage, that's in the 4th movie with Chris Pratt. That's from the 2nd book. Like I said, I love these books so much. First one especially. I really, really enjoyed it. The Tyrannosaurus Rex is an ongoing issue through the book once he shows up. I mean, he is not letting go about the fact that I'm going to eat you. Let me explain you a thing. In which case, actually, in the first book, there are 2 Tyrannosaurus Rexes. There's a fully grown one, and then there's a baby one. But yeah, the T-Rex, big issue in the book. Because he is not letting go. And also, oh yeah, he can swim. And like I said, all 4 movies end up reusing or using scenes from the 2 books. And in which case, I love it, the fact that Malcolm, the mathematician, is literally a damsel in distress in both books. You know, in the second one, he's viewed as kind of the hero, especially in the movie. No, he's not. In the second book especially, he's on morphine. In the first book, he ends up on morphine for like the last third of the book. And he's in bed and injured and stuff like that. Second book, exact same thing. He gets injured and is on morphine the whole thing. These books are actually very feminist. And I love it. Allie, the girl, Allie's the girl in the first one. Sarah, his girlfriend, or ex-girlfriend, is actually the whole reason they get off the island. I mean, this girl can do anything. I mean, she don't back down. She's amazing. She's, like I said, she's the reason all of them survive. But yeah, I love Jurassic Park. I love Jurassic World. I love the movies. You know, I do. But they're not at all accurate to the books. And like I said, all 4 movies end up using scenes from the original 2 books because apparently they couldn't think of anything as awesome on their own. Next book, and I've mentioned this one before, is X-Hero series by Peter Clines. This is a book series where superheroes exist. They're a common everyday occurrence. And then the world ends. The zombie apocalypse happens. And it sort of presents, they're presented with a question of, okay, what happens to superheroes when the world comes to an end? You know, when they have to stop fighting villains, you know, when villains are no longer the biggest issue, what do? You know, when instead of villains, they have to fight zombies to protect the people. And, you know, basically start working together to protect what's left of humanity. And it's such a good series. There's 5 books. Because it's Ex-Heroes, Expatriates, Excommunication, Ex-Purgatory, and then Exile. I've listened to the audiobooks of all of these as well. Love them. I have the 5th book actually autographed by Peter Kleins as well. Yeah, if I can get my favorite book series ever autographed, I will. Like, if I have to fight a nun to do it, I'm gonna. There's a whole slew of characters of all different types, powers, nationalities, personalities, everything. There's one character literally has crippling anxiety and phobias, you know, and has to try to figure out a way to, okay, my personal feelings, but I need to be a superhero and go save people because literally only I am in a position to be able to right now. You know, can I put my stuff aside and hold on by my fingernails and teeth so I can go save lives? And then I'll go deal with my stuff when I know people are safe. You know, and you see her struggle, and actually her condition get worse over the course of the books until the point that it literally reaches a breaking point about, okay, you literally are going to die or you are going to seek help. You know, those are your options. You know, and it's so good. And, oh God, and there's like just all these different stories in every book, and all these new characters, and you lose characters because of course this is a zombie apocalypse. People are gonna die. And then you've got the people that they're trying to protect who are humans. There's like a good portion of them that resent the superheroes. You know, they're just like, no, we don't, it's sort of this us versus them mentality of small petty people that literally want to be in charge and want to feel like they have power and feel like they're being oppressed because of the superheroes trying to make them look bad because, hey, we're just puny humans. No, it's not at all what's happening. And then you have the superheroes still bending over backwards to not only protect them, but to keep up morale. And like, okay, fine, if you feel oppressed, what can we do to make it better? How can we make things better for you? You want to set up a democracy? We will set up a democracy. You want us to set up a council that is equal members and parts regular non-supers and just superheroes, and you want to elect a mayor? We will do it. You know, how can we make you feel safe? You know, what can we do? Next, Cassandra Clare, City of Bones, the Mortal Instrument series. This is another one people are probably about to be outraged about because there's a lot of controversy around Cassandra Clare and allegations of plagiarism. I had to think of the word. I'm tired. I just got back from vacation, so my brain is kind of, I'm wearing down fast. That's why I had to get tea, so I had to get some caffeine. The plagiarism. Which, if you've read her fanfics, yes, very much. She would lift not only lines, she would lift whole paragraphs and scenes from complete other books and stuff like that. I mean, you can see side by side where they're compared. Yeah, that was an issue. In which case people want to accuse, thank you. The people want to accuse her of plagiarism in her new books. I'm like, you know that gif from Spider-Man where Stanley has his headphones on and he's just going about stamping the books and there's drama going on behind him and he's just like, whatever. That's me. Like, yeah, okay. I'm tired of hearing about this. I've been hearing about this for years. I literally do not care at this point. Don't care. You know, whatever will be, will be. If it's in a court of law, that's up to a judge to decide. I don't want to have to hear people yaying about it constantly. Don't care that much. I literally don't. I really enjoyed City of Bones. I really enjoyed the characters. The fourth book in the series I hated with a passion. It is boring, it is terribly written, it needs to be burned. But from what I am told, the rest of the series picks up from there and it gets much better. There are actually 6 books in the series, and then she has a prequel series which was god-awful and I hated. Not at all feminist, but it's also supposed to be like a product of its time, Victorian era, about a woman needs to know her place. That don't jazz well with me, just saying. And then she has a new series that just the first book of it came out. The first one's called Lady Midnight, which I'm very much looking forward to reading. I just have to finish the Mortal Instrument series first. Next series is actually called, it's a children's series, but it's so good. Oh my god. It's The School for Good and Evil by Soman Chainani, and it's such a good book series. Like, it deals with so many tropes and everything that's so beautifully, and yet never draws attention to the fact that, hey, I am making these points on these topics and these issues. Never ever. That he shows, he doesn't tell, and it's beautiful. So many people need to learn how to do this. It's so important. And he is the first author I have ever seen to literally deals with self-identity, sexuality, friendship, oh god, like image, the way you're viewed by others, the way you view yourself, like, oh god, there's so many threads going through this, and it's 3-book series, and I swear he has made me a fan for life. I will buy any of his books. I think the second book is actually my favorite book in the series, and I've listened to the audiobooks of these as well. Both are great. You can read, the books have actually illustrations in them, or you can listen to the audiobooks. Like, you root so hard for these characters. And like, even the evil characters, you want so hard for them to basically, like, one character, you want so hard for her to learn to love herself. You know, stop seeking validation in other people. Love you. And, you know, you don't need other people to love you for you to be worthwhile. You know, you don't need glory and popularity and, oh god. And in which case, it's such a human experience because she struggles so hard and she falls down so often, you know, and sometimes she doesn't get back up. You know, she has her friend who literally picks her up and gets her going, kicking and screaming. You know, she doesn't want to get back up. And she's like, no, I will drag you the rest of the way, but you are getting up and you are moving forward and we are going to do this together, whether you like it or not. And it's, oh god, I loved it so much. And so many people have not heard of this series, and that hurts me down to my soul. It really, really does. It's such a great series. Everybody needs to read it. And let your kids read it. Oh god, it's so good. So good. Other book series that I don't have physical copies to show you, because I just listened to the audiobook and I don't have both audio and text. Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I really enjoyed the characters. I like the fact that she's the heroine is a very complicated character. She's literally raised to be an assassin. And it's like a killer who genuinely cares so much about other people's lives. And yeah, she's an assassin. She has no problem going after marks and stuff like that. But then on the flip side, you will see her be so generous and so kind and compassionate to other people that it's just like, how could anybody fear you like they do? Which case, yes, because the assassin side of you, really freaking scary. But at the same time, oh god, she's so amazing. I love her so much. At first, I did not think I was going to like her at all. Like, literally, because you are presented with the mask at first. And then as time goes on and the story continues, the mask comes down. And you actually get to see who she is and get to see her different layers. and the different masks and stuff she puts on and takes off as she needs to. The fourth book really lost me. I don't know if I'm going to continue the series. It was like trying to walk through thigh-high mud. Another one is called 1,000 Pieces of You by Claudia Gray. It is literally a whole bunch of AUs thrown together in one book. Literally. The characters keep basically having to universe jump while chasing down basically the murderer. And in it, they keep finding that their alternate universe selves actually always find each other. And, you know, but they get entangled in their other selves' lives and having to pretend to be them while they're there trying to hunt down this other person. And, you know, because their names and stuff may be completely different in this alternate universe. History might have been, you know, slightly changed, because I know they will go to one universe, and rather than being in America, she's in Russia, and the Tsar is still in power, and the Russian royal family still exists. I know a lot of people had a lot of trouble with it when they read the text version, and I think that's kind of an interesting thing to do with audiobooks, is the fact that sometimes somebody can get the voice you weren't able to get. And they may read it the way it was intended, that you didn't read it maybe quite in the tone it was meant for. And so you took it one way when it was meant something completely other. So if you tried to read the book and didn't enjoy it and didn't like the main character, maybe listen to the audiobook instead. Because like I said, I loved it. I loved it so much. I started it and like literally couldn't stop. Like stayed up way too late trying to finish listening to it so I could find out what happened. I loved it. I can't wait for the next book. Well, to get the next book. And last one is called Nightside, or the Nightside series by Simon Green. If you're a fan of Harry Dresden, these are so much better. So much better. They're also very dark. Sort of a similar premises. There's a second London within London where things unmentionable and monstrous reside. And he's a private eye that literally his gift is he doesn't solve crimes. I mean, he may solve some mysteries along the way, but people literally just come to him when they need to find things. Missing people, artifacts, whatever. And they hire him to find it because that is his gift. He can literally find anything. And there's so much mystery behind this character that, you know, I've read the first several books and so much of him is not revealed. There's so much of him that he doesn't know. And then there's hints of how things in the future will turn out if he takes the wrong steps. And it's bad. Oh God, it's bad. So I very much enjoyed it. So much better than Dresden Files. So much. Books on my to read list are The War of the Flowers by Tad Williams. This book is thick, but all of Tad Williams' books are. It's 828 pages, but the brilliant part of this is that literally it's one book. As opposed to the Otherland series, that each book is about 800, 900 pages long, and it's all literally actually just one big book. Editing is a thing he needs to kind of learn to do. Because you could, I know the first book of the Otherland series, you could easily cut out a fourth of it and not lose anything. But it's The War of the Flowers I'm looking forward to. Again, it reminds me heavily of Labyrinth, which is the basis of its appeal. I don't really know what it's about, but it reminded me of Labyrinth, so that's all it took. Let's see. H.P. Lovecraft, next. This is classic, so I'm interested. He's famous for his images, his creations. His writing is terrible, or like his writing of dialogue is bad, but like everything else is great. And so the creativity is what I'm very, very curious to see. These worlds and creatures and things he envisions and creates and puts to paper so beautifully and horrifyingly. I'm very much looking forward to reading that. I've never read H.P. Lovecraft. Next is The Magician's Pawn by Mercedes Lackey. This is a very old series, and apparently, I thought it was a 1 in 3 series, but apparently the 3 is just this character story. Apparently Mercedes books all tie together, and there's apparently 35 of them. Oh dear Lord, sweet Jesus, send help. I don't know if I can read all 35. But I'm definitely looking forward to at least reading these 3. In which case, the cool part of this is when this book was written, very much controversial because the main character's gay. And that was not done. I mean, you didn't do that. So I thought that was really cool and very bold move on her part about the fact that I will literally write whatever I want to write and you'll deal with it. And there's a huge, the character development is one thing I keep hearing about as far as the series. I don't even hear about the plot. I just keep hearing about the mind-blowing character development. And I thought that was really interesting, so I was very much intrigued. So that's also on my... And these aren't in any particular order. Like, literally, they're just books I grabbed alphabetically, and these are, I know, ones on my to-read list. City of Lost Souls. This is the 5th book. And so I'm not going to say I'm really looking forward to reading it, because I'm not. Because I was, like, ready to write off Cassandra Clare after the 4th book. Like, the 4th book and the prequel series came out at the same time. Prequel series was awful. God awful. And just made me very, very angry. A lot. And then the 4th book was boring as dirt. And then pathetic. And Lilith, you know, the demon Lilith that is used so often in mythology and is like supposedly Lucifer's first wife. Yeah. Or Adam's first wife. Yeah. Her. Weak. So weak. So weak. Like, we're like, what even is this? And it just, oh God. It was bad. Like, literally wanted to swear off the books. I hated the book so much. I mean, that's how bad it was. And apparently everybody agrees. Next is The Monstrumologist by Rick Yancey. Or Yancey. Same one who read wrote The Fifth Wave, the alien one. Monstrumologist, kind of self-explanatory. Supernatural exists. He literally studies monsters. If you're familiar with well, of course you're familiar with Supernatural. It's probably how you know I exist. He literally is kind of like a man of letters. The last one is the Shannara Chronicles, which actually I started and read not too terribly far into it. I'm not actually fully sure what this is about. We're going on a quest to save the world, dude. That's what I'm kind of hoping, and I wanted an adventure, and yeah, I want to go on an epic quest to save the world, and character growth, and traveling and fighting with a sword, and fighting ogres, and trolls, and goblins, and alongside or against elves, and I just want this whole other world and culture and magic and everything like that. So I'm very, very excited to read that one and very much looking forward to it. And I'm going to end it there. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope some of these books interested you. If you disagreed with any of them, or you have opinions on any of them, or questions about any of them, drop me a comment. You know, I would love to talk with books about you. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment below. Hope to hear from you next week, in which case I'm taking suggestions as far as anything you would like me to do a video on for next week, as I still don't think we have a new episode of Supernatural yet, so we're still in hiatus. Peace out.